You were telling me what your name means.
Yeah.
Share that with me.
Ameerah, it means princess. I was saying that it's very ironic because in my country they call me Ameerah, Ameerah. It's princess, princess. It's ironic because I'm born a middle-class girl and now I have those two names tied together.
Did you have this vision for yourself when you were a little girl?
Never. I wanted to be a doctor, heart surgeon. And I was working really hard to do so. And then my life just changed dramatically. I'm very proud of where I came from. I'm a Saudi girl, born, raised, learned English in Saudi Arabia. And then I acquired my degree in business administration from New Haven University. I traveled the world. I've been to more than 70 countries. It opened my eyes to many cultures. And so I consider myself a globalized citizen. And it taught me to build bridges and to become more tolerant and understanding. And I think it opens people's eyes when you learn more, educate yourself, and open yourself to other people's cultures.
Let's shift the conversation and talk about women's rights and your advocacy for women in Saudi Arabia. American women livid about the idea that women cannot drive in Saudi Arabia. We know about that. What are the biggest goals on your agenda? Because I know it goes much further than just driving. What are some of the other issues and what are you hoping to accomplish?
You've said it, American women, it wasn't easy for them to get their full rights, and even now it's not as full as they want it to be. With us, it's been 3 decades that we've been trying to acquire our rights. And to be honest with you, it's not going to be as easy as one would wish for. You're not talking only about government and policies, you're talking about a mindset, a culture, a religion, and a very conservative culture. Driving, yes, it is symbolic, but there are very important issues, like you said, that concerns us women, like civil rights, more fields in education, more fields in the labor force, and more political participation.
And it's amazing that women can be doctors and lawyers. They can fly planes, but they have to be chauffeured to the airport. Both you and your husband have really spoken out on this. What is your timeline? What is the ideal timeline for seeing this change?
You mean specifically with the driving issue?
Yes.
My ideal timeline would be tomorrow. I think, of course, you need to have facilities and you need to kind of, because, you know, to think about infrastructure and how does it work when you allow women to drive, which could take months. But I think the society is ready for it. A lot of people could embrace that. Now, those who don't support driving, you don't have to drive. Just as simple as that.
What is it about? I mean, what is the problem with women driving?
Lots of excuses, but even if I tell them to you right now, it doesn't make sense because lots of Muslim countries allow women to drive. We're the only country in the world where women cannot drive. Islam actually encouraged that women participate in sports and they use transportation, and women used to ride camels and horses. The wives of the Prophet used to ride horses and camels. So it just doesn't make sense. You know, what we do with our intercultural initiative is that we try to bridge gaps through creative ways where people think outside of the box. For example, with the Islamic Arts Hall, I was standing next to a woman who was looking at this beautiful Islamic rug, and it was explaining a love story about in Islamic poetry. And she said, I never knew Islam reflected love in their art pieces. And that was a moment where she changed a certain stereotype. That's exactly what we're trying to do.
In terms of advocacy and philanthropy over the next 5 to 10 years, what's your blueprint?
As I said, enable leaders to lead. Already I've done some work whereby I helped a couple of people, and now they're big organizations or small NGOs, and I'm very proud of it. And I see them even growing further. That's what I want to do. I want to look around. You know, Saudi Arabia, we have 600 NGOs in comparison to 3,000 in Bahrain, which is much more smaller than Saudi Arabia. I want to see more NGOs. I want to see more civil society. Instead of speaking that we want this and we want that, do something. And so I just want to grab that energy and channel it through right ways where people can actually take action. I like to see Saudi Arabia in the hands of great leaders who really believe in the energy and in the bright minds of young Saudis. So you will have a movement of conservatives and you will have a movement of women empowerment. And so I'm not scared of that, from that at all.